Hi guys, welcome back. And if you're new here, my name is Shelley. I'm a high ticket closer, sales manager, and I've also recently started my own female sales training offer. I've been in the space nearly a year and a half, and I scaled my income from 0 to 30k per month in that time. And really, this channel is to give advice, share my experiences, feedback of how I scaled my income and really how you guys can do the same. So I hope you enjoy this video. Today, if you can tell by the title, I really wanted to share my perspective on landing a job within high ticket sales. I get this question so often, is how to perform on an interview, because that is usually the first and biggest hurdle to overcome before you can actually get into the space. And for myself, I was able to land my first ever high ticket sales role with no experience out of 150 applicants. So reflecting back and looking at how I was able to do that, I wanted to share some actionable tips that you guys can utilize and actually execute when finding a role within high ticket sales. So let's get into it. First of all, it goes without saying, first impressions count. And I know some people prioritize appearance more than others, but I must say within sales, if you want to have a 10K month or 20K month or 30K month, then you have to have the same effort, a 10K effort, a 20K effort, a 30K effort. You can't expect to make 10K per month with a 1K effort. With that, you need to look presentable. I can't tell you how many people in sales reps I've heard of who haven't got opportunities because of their background or attend to the call scruffy, attend to the interview scruffy. I think I've said this in previous YouTube videos as well, so I don't want to repeat myself too much, but just make sure when you're going on for an interview, you just look presentable. You know, if you're a guy, you can wear like a plain t-shirt, whatever. If you're a girl, you know, show up, make sure, I hate to say it, but your skin's covered, you know, you look presentable, you look professional, you know, you've brushed your hair. It just goes without saying. You want your background to be clean, even if it's a blank wall, that's absolutely fine. You don't want a messy bedroom in the background. So bear that in mind. Some people will tell you that, some people won't tell you that, some people will say it's just skill that matters, but it's not. We all judge someone in the first 60 seconds of seeing them, right? It's just human nature. So to put yourself at the best advantage of landing these higher paying roles, these more elite offers, you want to make sure you look the part as well. If you can invest in a ring light, that's huge. You can literally get one for like $15 off Amazon. Obviously more high tech products such as like a better camera or microphone, etc. I understand if you're starting out and money's tight, that's not something you can necessarily invest in right now. But if you are in a position where you can get like a fairly decent camera on your computer, that's also going to be a bonus. They would be my two top purchases, ring light and camera. When I started in sales and I started earning some money, I did purchase like a microphone, for example, but I genuinely don't think it makes a difference. I could be wrong. I feel like I have quite a decent microphone on my Mac, so that's fine. But yeah, they would be the top two I would recommend, and I can even link in the description below some recommendations for ring lights, cameras, and the Mac I use for my sales calls to this day. Number 2 is mastering the most asked question across history in an interview. No matter what interview it is, the likelihood that you're going to get asked this question is probably like 99%. And that is the tell me about yourself question. If you're going on to an interview and you don't know how to ace the tell me about yourself question, then we have a problem. This should be the one that you've nailed down to a T, that you know exactly what to say, how to answer it in the right way. This is something that I literally rehearsed. I had a script in front of my Zoom camera and I literally read off the script because I was so nervous. 100% do that. You want to be able to ace these questions. So if you need prompts behind the Zoom call, go for it. So make sure you're acing the tell me about you question. You want to hit some of your previous background, maybe a personal story, kind of growing up, or a lesson that your parents taught you, or a lesson that a previous employment taught you that shaped you to be this person. Where you're at now with your ambitions and your goals and some personality traits, to give the interviewer a bit of a well-rounded overview of who you are as a person and the type of, I guess, employee that you would be if you were to work on their offer and if they were to hire you. So you just want to be truthful, you want to be authentic, you want to show your personality in that answer. And it's super important to have that question nailed. Number 3 is no experience, no problem. The amount of beginner sales reps I speak to who think their lack of experience is going to be the thing that actually prevents them getting into the industry. And it's not the case. You have to remember that everyone starts somewhere. And yes, for some more established offers, your lack of experience won't allow you to currently work on that offer at that time. But there are also so many other opportunities where companies are willing to take a bet on you and they will work with you with lack of experience. As I said, I landed my first role out of 150 applicants with no experience. And for myself, I truly remember the thing that allowed me to get that job was my desire and my passion for it. And when you're communicating with the business owner, this is your first ever sales pitch, right? You're selling yourself. You need to be likable and you need to be trustworthy. Like a sales rep, you know, when you go into a closing call, you'll get the prospect to buy if they like you and they trust you. And when the business owner asked me about experience, I remember just saying, completely off script, I didn't prepare for it, it truly came from the heart. Listen, I may not be the most experienced sales rep, but I will come in and do whatever it takes. Like, I promise you, if you take a bet on me, I will be the hardest worker. I will climb to the top of the leaderboard. I will go above and beyond, do the extra calls, the extra dials. I don't care. Like, I will come in and I will ensure that the chance you took on me was 100% worth it. And I did just that, and I proved myself. And if you can be really real with yourself, and this won't be for everyone, but if you know yourself watching this, you want this more than you can breathe. There is nothing on this planet that will stop you from succeeding. Then when you say something like that, when you deliver a speech like that, the business owner or the manager will know that you're being legitimate. They will see the drive and the desire to succeed in your voice, in your body language, and they will take a bet on you, just like the business owner did for me. And from every single woman that I work with, they all have that hunger. And I've given them that same advice, just to be truly genuine in an interview, and every single one has got the job first time. I think not enough people do have that hunger and have that kind of genuineness about them. And that is really what can set you apart, just like it did for me. Number 4 is be ready to drop everything and start. Now, I appreciate this can be a controversial one. This isn't like corporate. There are no real rules within high ticket sales. And for a lot of people, if you have mortgages, families, responsibilities, you can't just quit your job tomorrow and start. And I appreciate there are some offers that will be a bit more patient with you, let you work your notice period, and then you can kind of join. But for a lot of companies and for a lot of kind of job roles within high ticket sales, they want speed, they need you now, they want you to start 9 times out of 10. This is why the industry is mostly full of like younger people with less responsibilities, because you can just quit your job and move. And if you can't, a lot of the time you will miss out on opportunities. So it's about having that conviction, even though it's scary, even though it probably makes you feel super nervous that you might be quitting your job and embarking on a whole new concept that's not proven. I say my advice would be is trust yourself. Like, in your gut, do you know that you're going to give it 110%? If you do, then don't be afraid to bet on yourself. That's exactly what I did. I took the leap of faith. I quit my job. I knew what I had to do and I did it. And it's all worked out. And honestly, it always will if you just give yourself no other option but to succeed. exactly what I did. There was no plan B. Sales had to be it. There was no choice. My money was tight. I quit my job. I had bills to pay. I had my own apartment. My back was against the wall. And I'd highly advise, if you really want to kill it in this industry, put your back against the wall. Obviously, if you're in a position where you don't have to, don't. Of course, that's a great position to be in. But if you are, don't be afraid to have like full conviction and go all in on this. Finally, I would say ask the right questions. Do not be afraid to ask scary, tough questions in an interview. At the end of the day, this isn't some comfortable employment. If you take a bet on an offer, on an offer owner, you are putting your livelihood at risk. And in reality, if you had a hospital bill to pay, or you broke a leg, whatever, would the offer owner pay for your bill, or would they replace you? They'd replace you. It's just the way the industry works. So you need to make sure you're doing your due diligence on the offer as well. So some questions to ask at the end of your interview, because you'll always get asked, do you have any questions for me? And this is your opportunity to vet the offer. You can ask business monthly revenue, perhaps over the last 2 or 3 months, cash collected and revenue. This will give you a really good idea of the scale of the business, what's consistent for them over the past 3 months, to see if you want to actually be in that company. I would say typically you wouldn't want to be working necessarily for a company that's making between like 100, 150K and under. Now, there are new companies and every company has to start from somewhere. So don't take that as gospel. But what I teach the women in my program to do is they want to go into an established company with proven results, proven track record, and already built out sales team. So then you don't have the pressure of reinventing the wheel. When you are a brand new sales rep, you need training, you need processes, SOPs, you need scripts. You don't have the knowledge, the experience, the expertise to build that out yourself like a new company would expect you to do. I've seen it happen. I've seen some of, like one of my girls, I think in particular, she went into a company, she was brand new, this company was new, and she had no sales training, and it nearly put her off sales. Because yes, we work together, but I should complement her sales training. I shouldn't be the be all and end all because I don't know the business's processes, scripts, etc. So I would highly recommend that you want to ensure that you're going into an established company, so you're not reinventing the wheel, basically. Next question would be, what's the top performer making? Because that's going to give you a very good understanding of if the top performer is making your target income, then you know it's possible too. And I know that's controversial. Some people in the industry say like everyone had to become a top performer at some point. There's always going to be one person that carves the way. 100%. But if you're new in sales, as I said, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. You want to go into a proven concept. When you start getting good, when you start building your confidence, sure, you can carve the way. But for now, you just want to know that the offer you're going into is actually going to make you the money that you want. So what's the top performer making and what makes them a top performer? This gives you an insight into what you need to do to be a top performer, and also tells the offer owner that you're hungry to be that person. Understand what that top performer does, their processes, their mindset, etc. that's made them that. So you can then go in and replicate that. And then finally, one of the other questions I would ask is, what's fulfillment like / refund rate? You want to make sure that you're on an ethical offer. The last thing you want to do is sell a product where you're scamming someone, where the refund rate's super high, where the offer owner only cares about collecting cash and not about fulfillment. That is super, super important. Truly, you don't ever want that to be on your conscience. Like personally for me, I could never sell something where I didn't know the fulfillment wasn't 10 out of 10 and that the people that I was selling to were going to be looked after. So make sure that that is a question that you ask as well. So you can actually enjoy what you're selling and it never comes back to, I believe in karma, so it never comes back to kind of bite you in the end, if you know what I mean. And that is everything. That would be my advice for helping you come into the industry and land a solid offer. If you have any more questions regarding interview prep or finding the right offers, and having the interview with managers and offer owners, please feel free to leave a comment down below. As always, my Instagram DMs are open, and if you are a female in the space or looking to enter the space and you would like my help with training and finding offers, then there's a link down below to book a call with me. Thanks, guys.